Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. Tiki here, and Goofy Yuck Yuck. I'm kidding. It's just Goofy Yuck Yuck for like the next minute or two while Tiki gets some stuff together. So, this was a very cool round. I hope you all are doing well. I've had a very long day, I'm going to be honest. So, we'll see how this goes. Tiki told me to fill time. Let's see. How can I fill time? Okay, let's think about how the projects went. Let's talk about how the projects went. I thought y'all did really great. I liked how you guys went with two completely separate directions, and they were both things that I thought were very cool. I'm also trying to talk slowly for Tiki. I don't know what he wants me to say and not. Oh, I hear him coming back. I'm not going to sing this song, Peregrine.
What's going on?
Peregrine said, "Sing us a song, Goofy." No, not going to happen. No. I feel like people have been trying to get me to sing on this thing for a while. It's not going to happen.
Shoot, sorry. I meant to full screen myself, and I accidentally came out. All right. Anyways, well, folks, we have hit the merge, and you know what that means? It can only mean one thing. That's right, Applebee's. We're doing it. We're pulling out the stops. Also, I want to shout out Space Mountain because, yes, I did use his gift certificate that he sent me like 2 months ago to do this. So, you know, Goofy, when you're in the middle of the Fijian Islands, it's so blue. It's so blue. Oh,
wow. Holy cow.
This legitimately does not look healthy to drink.
I'm not going to lie to you, Tiki. I was not looking at the screen whenever you started pouring that. I was like, what the heck is happening?
This is a blue raspberry lemonade. I wanted to get a shark bowl so I could be like Tommy on Survivor and be like, the shark bowl is the ultimate island drink. But you know what? The blue raspberry lemonade at Applebee's. That is the ultimate island drink. God damn it. All right. Jesus Christ. You want me to do a taste test?
The comments are like, that was like cleaning supplies.
Yeah, no, it does. It does. Seriously.
Yeah, you got to try it. Let us know if it tastes like soap.
I mean, it came in this, so it's like, you know, they don't want you to know what it actually looks like, even though the gimmick is that it's blue.
I'm not going to lie. That's a little concerning.
Here we go.
I'm nervous for you. Oh my gosh, he did it. This is like the Tide Pod challenge.
Oh, man. Ooh. That's actually, it's not bad.
That's a glowing review from Tiki right there, folks.
Like, I could see myself really enjoying this if I was like at a theme park on a hot day and I was desperate.
I imagine a lot of things would taste good if you were like desperate for a drink at a theme park on a hot day.
Like this is certainly not something that I would choose just, you know, as my drink of choice. But I did feel like it represented that freaking ridiculous. If anyone's curious what we're talking about with the Applebee's thing, you know what? I will post a link to what this is a reference to. I know it wasn't a Pride space. It's fine. So Goofy, so let's kick things off with a serious thing first. We don't usually do eliminations first, but this was kind of a weird round. So yeah, first of all, the game is afoot because Space Mountain got hit with 3 different powers this round.
Count them, folks. 1, 2, 3.
He was locked out of getting a PO MVP in the menu twist with Walt's Vault. What else happened to him?
Well, he had the Diamond PO MVP played.
Oh my God, Tegan, this is genie juice.
For elimination.
This is totally like genie juice. Yes. Oh my God.
Space is still licking his wounds. He got the unobtainium. He had the Diamond PO MVP played on him.
Right, yeah. and then he got blocked from getting to power. So
Yep.
yeah, the game has most certainly been afoot.
For space at least. We're going to talk about it in a little bit, but
Goofy, I'm tasting I'm getting the aftertaste now, and it's not good.
Oh, jeez.
All right. So essentially, Goofy, why don't you kind of recap what happened this morning, and we'll sort of talk through it.
So the main thing that happened game-wise was that this morning, Pi, who had the bronze PO MVP, played it to save Lizzie from being nominated. She was nominated for team, was it Eisner?
New Chapek.
New Chapek. What? I can't keep these straight anymore. But yes, she was nominated for elimination.
You're not going to have to worry about that anymore. It's all
exactly. They're coming up with a name right now. But yeah, so that is that she was nominated. He removed her, so somebody had to take her spot, and then
I'm sorry. I love how the chat is like keeping a running tab of how many times I go and drink the tea. Oh god,
that's so funny.
Anyways, go ahead.
Well, but then Lizzie resigned from the competition basically. So that's our elimination for this round. Mm-hmm. We're not going to eliminate anyone else. I will say there was some kind of extra stuff for those of you that weren't in the team message, and Space asked me to read this, so I'll go ahead. But basically, Space did not feel, because for those of you who weren't keeping track, with the way that the team situation was, if I look back at it, there were, I think, 5 people in Team New Chapek. There's Disney Dad, Lizzie, OSU Phantom, Peregrine, and Space.
Mm-hmm.
So the 2 people were nominated. One of them was Lizzie, and then OSU Phantom was the project leader, so he was already automatically nominated. So there was one person that wasn't nominated for anything, and one person that was nominated for PO MVP. And whenever the power was played and Lizzie was saved from the nomination, before she resigned, Space expressed that he did not like what had happened, because he thought that it really put somebody that had played a really good round in a very bad position. And so he sent a message about that. And then what he said more eloquently than that is, this is in quotes from his diary room: "I think Lizzie is a great person and contributor to the forum. But in regards to the bronze PO MVP, I felt that even though I was safe this round, I had to speak up in the PM once she got the bronze PO MVP to defend those on Chapek who participated. It wasn't anything to do with what she did last week to him in one of the twists, but more that I felt something needed to be said in defense of people like Peregrine or Disney Dad or OSU Phantom, who would have by default been put in a position they didn't deserve. Now that it's the merge, nobody deserves to go home, so all eliminations will be brutal, but I'm glad it ended up with Lizzie resigning because she was clearly busy with something else, and I wish her the best. Plus now nobody feels shortchanged pre-merge," and then in parentheses, "well, maybe aside from Theme Park Priest, who I know still listens to the podcast." It all comes back to Priest.
Okay, yeah. So first of all, Tegan, does this answer your question? I'm doing this as aggressively as I can.
This is terrible. I do feel
every time I do this, I'm always picking up like little pieces of paper for at least a couple days afterwards too.
Yeah, that's pretty
okay. Funny. So yes, the bronze PO MVP is now null and void. It is gone. It is ceased to be. It is a dead parrot.
It's a little unfortunate.
So yeah, let's talk through the Lizzie thing. First and foremost with Lizzie, I want to give her some credit because I do think that while she certainly struggled this season with the creative side of things, she definitely ran into a few rounds where it was more or less just, I've got, I've got writer's block. And it's like you can use that once or twice, but at a certain point, it does kind of become a pattern.
Well, and the context is that this round and last round, she wasn't on the credits for anything, basically.
Right. Exactly. So at a certain, like, here, how I'm feeling about it is that if we did have to go through with an elimination and she didn't drop out, it would have sucked, yes. But it also is, alas, like, I know that you guys wouldn't be happy with it, but essentially it is still kind of part of the game. So right. While I am glad that she dropped out just on the basis of making my job easier, I do think that it's interesting because I'm certainly not saying that Space like forced her to quit or anything. That's absolutely not what I'm trying to say at all. But I do think that, first of all, I don't even really know for sure if she was even really actively asking for the Diamond PO MVP to be used on her. Not the Diamond PO MVP, the Bronze.
No, she wasn't. Pi had told us ahead of time that if she'd been nominated, he was going to save her. So as far as I know, there wasn't anything said because he had said that before we knew the nominations.
So like Space, you're absolutely right that like what happened totally did put Disney Dad and OSU and Paragon into a bad position for sure.
Right.
I also think that what happened, weirdly enough, put Lizzie in a terrible position as well. Just because I feel like Lizzie was playing a really solid social game so far. And like, I feel like that's one of the, I mean, I don't know for sure why she dropped out. And I do hope that she keeps following along. She's not here now. And, oh wait, no, LED, you are here. You are here. Yeah. Okay. That's good. So basically like what I'm trying to say is I do think it's unfortunate. Like she was playing a rock solid social and strategic game. So like, while I am happy that it ultimately shook out the way it did and we didn't have to lose one of the three people that were nominated, I do think it's really, Ellie, basically what I'm trying to say is like, I think you should be proud of the game that you did play.
Yeah.
Obviously we would have liked to have seen more creative output from your end, of course, but I still think, I still think you deserve a lot of credit for having two different people use safety powers on you. Like that's not nothing.
That's very impressive, honestly. Like the fact that Pi actually, and he explains it in the comment now that she never asked him for it. They were in a half-joking alliance since early on. So he figured it'd be good to honor that. Plus Ellie's fun to work with. And yeah, I will say that like, just to echo what Tiki said, I was very, very impressed with your social game to the point that Pi had literally told us that before he had any idea if you were nominated, he had no context for what had happened in your team's PM that round. That if she's nominated, I want to save her with the Bronze PO MVP. That's really impressive.
Right.
But you made the jury, and I will say there is still a zombie PO MVP that is out there. So, like, nobody on the jury is technically gone until after
until that thing gets used. Yeah. Although I'm not sure, given the circumstances, I'm not sure if she'd feel comfortable coming back into the game.
Probably not.
Circumstances.
Yeah. I mean, obviously,
Ellie, actually, if you like, you might want to kind of like let us know that in advance. You don't have to decide right now, but like maybe in the next week or two, just so we know. If you would be willing to come back into the game or not, just so we know. But I'll resign again to get them to waste it.
She's gonna single-handedly take out all of the POVPs.
You know what? Knowing her gameplay, I really wouldn't be surprised if that did somehow end up happening.
That'd be wild, honestly. But yeah, so we wanted to start out with that just because, like,
by the way, I cannot fucking drink this. This is awful.
Dude, that's so bad.
It's awful. It's like, and like, look how much I have left in here. I'm spilling it on my laptop. No, just the touchpad, but still. But look how much I have left in here. It's like half a cup still, in addition to the full fucking glass. This is awful.
Oh my
What a
gosh!
waste of $5.
Jeez, man, Space is bribed down the toilet.
Okay, well, you know what I have still? Oh yeah.
What do you still have?
I've got, what is this called? The triple chocolate melt. Yeah.
Wow.
It really doesn't look very good either. Like, how the fuck do you mess up chocolate cake? I think they might have found a way. This literally looks like shit. I'm not even kidding.
Oh, this is why Applebee's just is not, a place that people should go.
What do you think?
Ever.
Does that or does that not look like poop?
It looks like something that was literally taken out of a package and reheated. I will say, my one Applebee's story, I hope that nobody that works for Applebee's, but I went to Applebee's with a group of friends, and they found a hair in one of their dishes.
Oh God!
And it was like a no. I'm just telling the story. So they found this long piece.
I'm about to take. You don't think you like? You're going to take a bite out of this.
Well, there may not be any hair in yours. But what happened was there was a long piece of brown hair, and I was there with a couple of girls, and one of them does have long brunette hair, and she told the waiter about it. He got the manager, and the manager basically came up to us and accused my friend of lying and putting the hair in there because he said, we don't have anybody that has long hair in our kitchen. Oh, shit.
Oh, Jesus.
So that's my Applebee's story. That like the manager was literally like, no, we're not gonna comp your food or anything. We think that you put a hair in there. And it's like, no. The hair was definitely in there before it got to us.
Really? I don't know what I don't know what you want from me because I'm about to eat some damn cake and this is literally all I have right now. All right? I'm not gonna eat this poop cake without having something to wash it down with.
No, ironically, the manager was bald. It wasn't his hair. But yeah. Anyways,
you know what the worst part of this drink is?
The fact that you can't stop drinking it.
It's not even alcoholic.
I don't know why. I assumed that it was.
No, it's not. I wish it was.
That's pretty funny, actually.
Tegan, just to clarify, the reason why I got a brownie specifically is that they highlighted a brownie on Survivor, so I wanted to stick as closely to the Survivor scene as I could.
And now he regrets it. Those people on Survivor would have been grateful to have something to drink.
Honestly, my logic on Survivor was just like, my logic with the brownie was just, it's hard to mess up, but they messed it up. At least as far as presentation goes, they messed it up.
Peregrine, I'm not going to say that the wonton tacos are what the hair was in, but I'm not going to not say it.
Oh, God. You know what? We're gonna go ahead and transition into the project reviews.
Oh yeah, that's right. And we also have.
We do that. We're gonna sit here and patiently watch this.
It's the biggest reward of the season, and we wanted to make it special. So we brought Applebee's to Fiji. Applebee's loaded, sizzling,
come on,
with all the fixings. Got room for dessert?
Yeah, we do.
You know we do, Jeff.
The most excited anybody's ever been for Applebee's.
I love Applebee's. Applebee's is by far my favorite sit-down restaurant. Oh my God, yeah.
Here we go. Applebee's in Fiji. Go first, but go Nora.
I love Applebee's.
Second you take is another second of Applebee's in Fiji.
I love Applebee's. My favorite sit-down restaurant.
That woman lives in Austin, Texas, one of the top 10 foodie cities in the country.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
she thinks that Applebee's is one of her top 10 sit-down restaurants. No, not top 10, her favorite sit-down restaurant.
Yeah. That's concerning.
Okay, Outback is like so much better than Applebee's. It's not even funny. I will gladly go to Outback. I actually enjoy Outback. You can't argue with that bloomin' onion, man. It's perfection.
So,
all right, anyways, the projects.
Well, do you want to do the projects or confessionals first?
I guess let's do confessionals.
Okay.
Why?
Actually,
while you do confessionals, I'm going to eat my cake.
All right. So, don't drink anymore, okay?
I make no promises because I'm going to need something to wash this down with.
And if you're that desperate, it tastes pretty good. Okay.
It's actually not bad.
Oh, that's nice. Don't look too closely at it. Just saying. Okay, so this is the first time all season that we've asked all players the same questions, which I think makes it very easy for me to put together the answers. So the first question was, what are your thoughts on space being the victim of 3 different twists this round? And how are you feeling about the effects it has on the strategic and social game? So we got a couple of different answers, and then I'm going to read Space's answer. He said that I could read it as him. So I think I can't. I think that Space makes the most sense to target because he's both one of the strongest players and one of the least likely to take revenge or get mad.
This is a podcasting challenge for you, my friend. This is
tough.
Test.
I'm literally looking away from the screen now.
Yeah, you have to just straight up look away from the screen. That's what you have to do.
So they said that Space makes the most sense to target because he's both one of the strongest players and one of the least likely to take revenge or get mad. He said himself that his main goal was to help the game go smoothly rather than being competitive. Although 3 at once is a little extreme, it might have finally triggered Space's villain origin story. Pretty good. Somebody else said, on one hand, it's a tremendous compliment to Space because he's probably the greatest armchair Imagineer of all time. On the other hand, it has to get old for him seeing himself as the target or scapegoat every single time. At some point, that can be enough to ruin the game for an individual. Somebody else said, honestly, Space is probably in my top 5 picks to win the whole thing. If he really decides he wants to, I think he can take it all the way. So not getting a chance to get a special PO MVP, I think, is a good thing for all the players because he's powerful enough as is. Somebody else said, I'm a little surprised, honestly. It always felt like Space was here more as a mentor than a player this season, and now people are seeing him as a crazy threat, and he's just getting hit with anything and everything. And then we got Space's answer to this question. I know it's a part of the game, so I don't take it personally. If anything, I take it as a compliment, and I hold out hope that the three-peat of twists weren't part of some backdoor collusion and just a string of individual decisions. Not that anyone would ever admit if they were or not. It does dampen my excitement for the future a little, knowing that I could develop the second coming of Horizons, yet not be in consideration for a PO MVP. But in that scenario, I wouldn't want to be the other nominees against me if the elimination is based on your Imagineering ability. So to anyone who didn't think of that consequence, then maybe your best course would be to tread lightly. I really do think this is the start of Space's villain origin story. I think the person that said that's completely right here.
Yeah.
You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. So the next question was, would you rather make it to the... Okay, yeah.
So Monkey said, Monkey is requesting Hipster Donald. Well, I don't have Hipster Donald, but I have House of Mouse Donald. You want some you want some chocolate cake, House of Mouse Donald? Yes, Tiki, I'd love some chocolate cake. All right, no, I'm not going to do that.
My gosh. I'm just saying.
The only reason I'm not going to do that is that Sandy Claus bought me this thing and shipped it to me from Florida, so I'm not going to taint it with cake. Anyways.
That's the only reason, not that it's like super weird to feed your
Yeah, no, that's yeah, exactly.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I can't. Oh my gosh, this is so hard. Okay. Most professional and organized stream ever. Yes, thank you. We're doing our best here, folks. The next question. I can't.
Oh my god.
I can't look at the comments. I can't look at the screen.
I am on the show.
I'm just gonna read. Okay. So
Sorry,
the next question.
I heard my grandma from behind the door say, "Let me see if he's available." I'm like, "I'm on a show." All right.
That's what we need. We need grandma's appearance next.
I know, right?
Cameo, yeah. Okay. So next question was: would you rather make it to the final 3 and lose the jury vote, or get voted out in the semifinals, knowing you could have won?
I really like this question.
Well, it's actually pretty interesting because 8 out of the 9 people that responded said they would prefer to make the finals and lose. The one person who said that they would rather get voted out in the semifinals said that I would rather get voted out in the semifinals with the hope that I could have won versus the finality of knowing I didn't.
That's honestly the direction I would have gone with.
Yeah, I think that's a very valid answer. I will say for the next question, the next question was, who do you think is the center of the game's social orbit? I'm not going to say who. I'm not going to name names, but there were
Nobody named names. It's okay.
There were a couple of people that popped up on several different answers, but then about half of the cast said they had zero clue. So I will say one person said that I don't think there's a single orbit. I believe there are a few different players who have multiple allies. There's definitely a reason Disney Dad chose space as his target, and I'm willing to bet it's a result of an alliance with his original teammates. I have 4 allies in this game, but I trust them each to a different extent, and I absolutely have a fear of getting backstabbed because I know that I'm perceived as a threat. So, yeah.
This is a progress on the cake, by the way. Just cake progress. It's about
Oh my
half
gosh.
done.
Thanks for the update.
All right.
You're doing great, Tiki. You're doing great.
Thank you.
So the next question. Oh yeah, Space pled the 5th. That one was funny too. I'm going to plead the 5th on the social orbit one.
I mean, it's fair.
Yeah. I mean, you do what you want. You tell us this stuff, and for the most part, we tell you that anything you tell us can be read on air unless you specifically don't want it. So.
Right.
But yeah, so the next question was, which of the 4 PMVPs released on this round's Waltz Vault do you think carries the most power, and which one are you least concerned about?
I think it's interesting how much variety we got in these answers.
That's what I was going to say. So all of these were written after the Unobtainium one had already been played.
Mm-hmm.
So, a couple people said that I'm not worried about the Unobtainium, but there were, out of the people that said most powerful, we had 3 votes for the bronze, 3 votes for the zombie, and 4 votes for the kamikaze. Which, yeah, I'd say that the kamikaze and the zombie are probably the 2 scariest, in my opinion.
For me, if I was playing, I would personally think the kamikaze was the scariest.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing with the zombie one is that it triggers the double elimination, which is a little concerning. But yeah, the kamikaze is a big one. And then as far as least concerning, and keep in mind, this was written before the bronze PMVPs were played. We had 2 people say the bronze, 1 person say zombie, and 1 person say kamikaze, which I think is pretty interesting. I'll read a couple of the interesting answers to these, though. That somebody said that, and this is funny with context now, but being able to know everyone's nominees is huge. That gives one tremendous insight as to where the PM's allegiance is. That's before being able to swap a person out. So the bronze one is probably the one that scares me the most, because if the owner makes it to the penultimate round and uses it then, it could totally wreck someone's game. Well, good news for you. You don't have to worry about that. Yay! But the kamikaze one is also kind of wild because no PMVP is ever fully safe until this gets used. And they said, I'm hoping we can...
Thank you very much.
Yeah. And they said they're hopeful that they can force the other power holders to use them quickly. Well, you've got 2 down right now, so 2 to go. We had somebody that said the kamikaze feels like the most powerful one of the bunch. as you truly are never safe now. It'll be interesting to see how it's used. I'm least concerned about zombie, as realistically, it could help me out even if I go early. And then the last one was was written by Space. He said, I think, and again, this was written after he got the unobtainium, but he said that I think that kamikaze holds the most power because it can be used with malicious intent. It's basically punishing someone for performing well, and it could be used in a situation where the POMVP takes on a reduced role to help give other players a chance to shine. Then, with 48 hours to go, gets put up as a nominee. The bronze POMVP is the least concerning one at the moment because I've already been affected by a diamond POMVP, and diamonds are more valuable than bronze.
Yeah, I mean, very valid concerns with the kamikaze one, but the kamikaze one was indeed put in place just so that you really cannot take a round off. That was the intention of the kamikaze one. Yeah,
it's going to be I'm really excited to see how the kamikaze and the zombie are both played. I think it's going to be super interesting. And then the last question is the most interesting one, I think. Just a very simple question. On a scale of 1 to 10, how high do you think your chances of winning this game are? So I feel
like everybody is like being super modest here, honestly.
They are.
I see that as a compliment.
Yeah, so I'll read you a couple of the interesting ones, and I'll give you the actual numbers on them. Somebody said, I think I stand a good chance. I still have a lot to show, and if I make it to the merge, I think I'll really be able to have momentum heading into the last leg of the competition. But I'm up against very strong competition, so I'd say a 4 or 5 out of 10. Somebody else said, as of right now, I think I have a 1 out of 11 chance of being the victor. I guess it'd be 1 out of 10. There were 10 people. But anyways, if I make it to the next round, I'll have a 1 out of 9 chance of being the victor. Overall, though, I'd say 5 is a fair number. I could win it, or I could get blindsided, or I could justly be eliminated. That's for the future to tell. And then somebody else said, I give myself a 6 to 7. I definitely am not a front runner, but I think I built up a solid resume that if some of the powerhouses go home early, I have a really solid chance. So the total numbers were 3 people said that they felt like they had a 7 out of 10 chance. 4 people said a 5 out of 10 chance, and 2 people said they think they have a 2 out of 10 chance.
Right.
So yeah, pretty interesting stuff. Y'all are definitely being very modest, but I will say that is kind of nice to see though. Whenever we are in this all-star season, that it's really tough to say because you look at the cast list and it's like I could not tell you. You could tell me any final 5 and I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is super exciting. So yeah, I think that it's going to be very interesting to see how things play out. We're going to get more into conversation about the actual projects. I will say I am super, super excited to not have to be judging between multiple projects anymore because this was definitely the hardest one to judge.
I feel ya. Okay, so yeah, the Downtown Disney projects. Let's start with Eisner, who did the mini golf. You know what? I probably should, folks, I apologize. I have not really been screen sharing as much as I should be with these, so let me pull it up. What did you think about this?
I loved the idea of it. I thought that it's kind of something that I feel like every Disney fan would love to see more stuff like this, where Disney really leans in to their history and everything. Personally, I'd love to see an Imagineering museum, but I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. And so I think that this is a really cool idea as something that would have massive draw. I could see, you think about the different things they've got. They have different things to where if you want to play mini golf, they have an incredible mini golf course, but there's also really cool themed dining and bar areas that I think are really appealing, and the store as well. You think about how popular Mickey's of Glendale is. This would be incredibly popular as well. So overall, I really like the concept of it. I thought it was also really well executed, and I think it would be a very, very cool place for Downtown Disney to launch a revamp, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. It was definitely a really solid. What do you think with the 2 courses? And I would like some clarification here if anyone is in the comments who worked on them. with the two courses where I do feel like the one with the miniatures was more fleshed out, but I feel like the other one was a bit more technical, and I'm not sure if that was like the intention, because I did see that they were citing Fantasia Gardens, how Fantasia Gardens has the technical course and the themed course.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a little confusing because like I don't like the other course that wasn't miniatures, it wasn't as themed, but it was still themed.
Yeah, I thought it was a really cool idea. It does make sense they pulled things from Fantasia Gardens. I like the overall idea of like having two separate courses that do still have theming. I did prefer personally the miniature one, mainly because I was very, very impressed with how much work went into creating individual designs for every single course.
Totally. Yeah.
And not to say that the other one didn't. The other one did as well. It's just that it was more detailed in the miniature one.
Well, I mean, it really, unfortunately, with this kind of stuff, it does sort of come down to just like with a mini golf course, there is just a lot more you can thematically do with it. I feel like New Chapek did everything they could do with what they were working with.
I was just talking about between the two golf courses.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. I was just like because the other one, the vintage vaults one, was like hand drawn. And so it's still you get a really strong feel for the concept overall. It's just there's a little difference in visualization, but overall it's a really cool 1-2 punch of miniature golf courses. And like something to me that I thought a lot about with thinking about these activities is that you want to think about what's going to be a draw that actually does make people think I'm spending valuable time and money to be at the Disneyland Resort, and what should I be giving my time to? And you do think that Fantasia Gardens is fairly popular, but between Fantasia Gardens and Winter Summerland, they are popular enough that Disney keeps them up and running in Orlando. And I think that this one would also be something that has a lot of draw for the theming of it mostly. Just because it's something that's really cool that's never been seen before.
Well, I mean, it's theming mixed with history, mixed with like a museum component too.
Yeah, it's a super cool idea that I think definitely would be a massive draw for anybody that's coming to Disneyland.
The one thing about my feedback I felt stupid about is that when they said that their mini golf course was open air, I didn't realize that it just meant that you could see it from all the from all the vantage points in the building. Like, yeah, I thought that it was like in like a fucking like outdoor thing in the middle of the building. I feel so stupid for that in retrospect.
I'm not gonna lie. I read the project and then I read your review. And I was like, did I miss that? I looked back at the map.
I was just reading it wrong.
I looked back at the map. I'm like, how on earth is this thing out? But yeah,
I mean, like literally, I thought they had like a fucking hole in the ceiling over the mini golf course. Like, yeah, that's open air enough for you.
There you go. But yeah, I loved everything about these golf courses. I thought that they were very cool. In general, they did a good job of combining the theme with the actual more technical stuff.
I really like that with the miniatures course in particular. It had such a good flow. With first of all, look at that artwork. That's great artwork right there.
It's incredible.
I think it just has a really, really good flow with like how it transitions from like the U.S. parks to the international parks to blue sky stuff, the water parks. It's just a really nice layout.
Yeah, I agree. I was very impressed with it. Like I said, I wasn't sure what to expect. We've seen mini golf projects before, and this was a very new take on them that I was very excited about. And the whole concept of the dueling mini golf courses is also cool because you're going to have people that are going to come back at least twice because they want to play on both of them. So I thought that was a really, really cool idea.
Okay. For the Imagineering workshop, I think that the best part about it was probably the build your own meal thing.
See, I honestly, I was kind of conflicted on this a little bit, just in that, like, it's something to me, at least with the okay, so with the concept of like sitting down at your table and like, oh, we're gonna designing an amusement park or whatever. I'm like, yes, that's awesome. I would absolutely love to do that. My only thing is that I don't know how realistic that is for a table service restaurant because they're all about turnover, and I don't think you get people out of there. You get people sitting down and giving them free reign to design a theme park or attraction or whatever. Yeah, it's a really cool idea, though. I just think that it'd be.
I also feel like this menu it's a great menu for what it is, for the idea. I just feel like it's much more of a quick service menu.
That was the other thing I was going to say, is that it kind of felt a little off from kind of what it came across as. Like reading through the start of the description, it sounds like it's going to be like a nice upscale restaurant, and then it's like, no, it's actually more quick service, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with quick service. It's just,
I honestly think quick service actually works a little bit better in an establishment like this.
Yeah, that's true. I would agree. I was not expecting it, and I do think that overall it's a really cool idea for a restaurant as a whole. The animatronic figures around the restaurant and everything, super cool idea. I would say that, like, it'd be really, really awesome if these design your own park and attraction things were like, oh, we actually have like a computer lab type setup where you can just go wild with this, in a separate
like just
area.
Have it be like a standalone attraction.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I hear you. All right. So the archive store, first and foremost, I do want to give props to Brer Panther because he did step up his social game this round. He was very much more at the forefront of the brainstorming, so I appreciate it. I still definitely think Brer Panther, like, at this point, I think it's pretty obvious to most everyone in the cast that he is like the big underdog of the cast, right? Like, I don't think I'm like giving anything away by saying that.
Yeah.
But it is like his story this season is interesting because he has been scraping by, and I think this is a solid gift shop for him. It's a good idea. I really like the emphasis on the Imagineering books because I'm pretty sure at one point in time I literally owned every single one of these.
Yeah,
except maybe the Epcot one. I don't think I ever owned the Epcot one, but
I was going to say the Epcot one I definitely have.
The best one is the Disney Mountains one.
Really? Okay, I've got to get that. I've got the two Imagineering ones and the
Disney Mountains one is so good that we might even make a prompt around it in the future. Hint.
But yeah, I thought, like I mentioned, is that you think about how popular Mickey's of Glendale is, and that's only like a pop-up shop basically.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this would be incredibly popular to have an Imagineering store at downtown Disney that's like always open, always there. It's a really cool idea.
Oh yeah. Okay, and finally, Sherman and Sherman's Bar.
Another awesome idea. Love the name. Love the idea. All the references to the rides that they were involved with.
I think just a dueling piano bar just by itself would be a really good thing to have at downtown Disney.
Yeah, exactly. It's like Jelly Rolls. It's a great idea, and again goes very well with the theme of Sherman and Sherman. Yeah, I like it. I like the menu a lot. I thought that was pretty cool. So yeah, I pretty impressed overall with their ability to kind of tie everything together in a very cohesive manner, because it is something that you can definitely let get away from you thinking about Imagineering as a whole. And they did a very good job of creating a cohesive experience that would be extremely popular, I think, in downtown Disney.
Mm-hmm. All right. Okay, so let's just go ahead and transition into Nature's Wonderland. And this is I do really like this concept, and I actually find it really interesting that both teams kind of took on the 1950s, 1960s aesthetic.
Yeah. I thought that was really cool.
I think one of my favorite elements of this is how much it interacts with the Grand Californian. Because for anyone who hasn't been to downtown Disney, the Grand Californian, it's literally like right there. Like it's literally like on top of downtown Disney.
Yeah, literally the first floor is shops, and then the second fifth floors are the Grand Californian. So yeah, I thought that was a really cool idea, really clever idea to help tie the area together a lot more. Overall, like I was saying with Chapek's project, or Eisner's project, sorry, that they did a very good job as well tying together everything. And they also had a very different feel from the other one, if you just want to get into like the activities.
Yeah, sure. So I said in my feedback, and I still stick by this, I think the activities here are well thought out. Like it's a good mix, but literally besides like the campgrounds, which we'll get into, I think you and I have a couple, like the campgrounds are creative, but also like maybe not necessarily the most financially feasible. We'll get into that. But like literally everything that is offered here, rock climbing, a ropes course, axe throwing, archery, it's all just like pretty typical roadside attraction hillbilly stuff.
Which
and
is
I say hillbilly just because like it's what I would think you would find, like, you know, like there's a bunch of places in like Bronson, Missouri or Pigeon Forge that have like this exact same kind of like roster of activities.
Yeah, and I will say that there is merit to going with tried and true stuff.
I mean, mini golf is tried and true.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say, is that there is a point of distinction. And I do think that because Peregrine worked on the activities, I do think that he did a good job of making it stand out. Like the amount of different things that are like different paths and things that are on the rock climbing section, all the different options, axe throw and archery tag. It's a really cool roster of things.
It is very well thought out as far as like all the different like components to it, but I just don't think there's a wow factor to it. Like with the mini golf, there's definitely a wow factor.
My thing was that the thing that I came back to, and again, this isn't to take away from anything that Peregrine did, because I think that he was probably the biggest contributor to the project with this round, and I really did appreciate his work. But I had to think about it from the lens that if I'm going to Disneyland like on vacation and I'm paying to be there, is this the kind of thing that I think would actually draw a lot of people? And to be honest, I don't know, because this feels like a lot of this feels like stuff that would be more accessible at home. The mini golf stuff, the mini golf is accessible everywhere. However,
but you don't have like the hyper themed mini golf everywhere.
Exactly. And there is subtle Disney theming throughout this. But it's not the same as like basically going into Imagineering Museum.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of like the Wide World of Sports.
Yeah, honestly, this is actually something that would fit in perfectly at the Wide World of Sports.
I think it's better than anything that they have at the Wide World of Sports. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, because they don't really have any attractions or anything. I think again, I do think that there's a lot to really like here. All the details and stuff about like, you know, like all the trails are named after true life adventure films. I think that's a really cool idea that is thrown. It's very well thought out.
It's just like if you look at this concept art, like it's just like. It's cool that they have the trails have different names and different skill levels and everything. That is very well thought out. But like, I mean, just there's only so much you can do with a rock climbing wall thematically. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I will say, to be honest, I thought that there was more appeal in the axe throwing and the archery tag, just because those are things that are like more. Axe throwing is still, I think, a novelty in a lot of places.
I'm going to be straight up with you. I do not understand like why people would pay money to do the axe throwing. I do not understand that.
Because
That
what
is
else are you going
outside
to
of my
throw
wheelhouse.
something like that? I think it's a cool idea. I've done axe throwing a couple of times. It is so much harder than it looks. But I do think that's a cool
maybe
idea.
it's just because I was raised with a dad who was like, "You want to throw an axe? Let's go outside and throw an axe."
Well, that's fair. That's fair. See, I just think it's a cool idea. Like, I mean, it's the same reason that I guess that people like go to shooting ranges and stuff like that. It's like, oh, we're gonna blow off some steam and go nuts with something that we can't do anywhere else. But I also really liked the archery tag idea.
The archery tag is really cool. I wish there was a little bit more detail with it, but it was a really cool addition.
I think that could have been a bigger highlight as well.
I actually think the archery tag could have possibly been like the headliner thing over the rock climbing.
Yeah, I would have been interested to see that. I do think that there was, like I said, a lot of cool things, and I know that that Paragon is Disneyland does draw locals, but Disneyland also is very difficult to get into, and people make a big effort to get there specifically to go to the parks.
Knott's Berry Farm.
Yeah,
I mean, a lot of places in Southern California draw locals.
Like I said, it's not anything against it, but the other thing is that something that I literally thought about whenever I was talking with Tiki before we went live is that the Grand California Adventure already has a ropes course too.
Right.
So like,
not a challenging one, but there is certainly a ropes course there.
Right. So like, it isn't like, it's not like it's something that's like brand new. But like, they don't have mini golf or whatever. And again, this is all a very semantical, splitting hairs and stuff. But personally, for me, with the activities at least, I did prefer Eisner's. And again, I know we keep saying this, but it's not knocking anything that Paragon did. It's just that realistically, Eisner's was more thematically out of the box. And now, they also executed really well.
I do want to talk, though. I do think this was a very close round. Like, because with New Chapek, one thing I think they have over Eisner is that I think all of the visual components are incredibly professional. Eisner definitely had some really good stuff with the mini golf, but like, I mean, just look at these logos and everything. I mean, this straight up feels like a company website.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that there are several things, and this is the problem, is that we're gonna get into as we keep talking about it. But I'll go ahead and spoil that we both preferred the gift shop and the restaurant here.
Yeah, I definitely think that. I mean, no disrespect to Eisner's at all. I think Eisner had some really good concepts, but I think I think the bar, the gift shop, and the signature dining are all just excellent here. Like, easily some of the best of those components we've seen so far this season. Easily. Yeah,
I agree. Did you want to say anything about the campsite before we move on to...
I just want to kind of talk about the price points really quick. We should probably bring up the price points.
That was the other thing that we didn't even talk about it until, right before we went live, but the price points are slightly out there.
I think $15 for a single climb is fine, but like, I mean, maybe if you're a local and you're just really sick of Disneyland and you've got a lot of energy to burn, then maybe spending $100 to do a day of this is, I don't know. I just cannot imagine, for me, and this is definitely more of a me thing. I acknowledge this. This isn't an everyone thing. But like, for me, I just could not imagine forking over $100 for like this for the day and spending all day doing it.
Right. And I will say, honest, to me, the bigger thing was actually the campsites. Because again, like, the price.
I think the campsites are an interesting idea, but yeah,
they are. The camp. I love the idea of the campsites. I think that the idea, even like, the beer package and the grilling package, really cool idea. I think that overall, this would actually be one of the bigger draws overall. But, if you're not a local, and even if you are a local, like $600 is a lot of money
I mean, frankly, if you're a local, you can like go out to like the Anaheim Hills somewhere and go camping.
Right. And if you're there and you're already paying for a hotel room and everything, it's not like you can actually camp on site because
Honestly,
you have
if
to
they
be
would have
out.
figured out some sort of way to actually have an overnight thing with it, I don't know logistically how you would do that, but I mean, frankly, it'd be kind of creepy. It'd be like, imagine like spending the night in an ESPN zone or something.
It'd be a little weird, but it would be cool, and I think it would definitely make the price point make more sense.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, you know, the Junior Ranger Center I thought was very cool as well. I love cornhole. Cornhole courts are awesome. But yeah, so that was kind
I
of.
remember one time when I was in Florida, they had a cornhole game set up in front of Pirates of the Caribbean because it was down for refurbishment. And I just had to laugh because it's like, well, no pirates, kids, but hey, we got cornhole. I mean, all due respect to cornhole.
I love cornhole. Wait, Paragon, is $600 really how much a poolside bungalow costs?
Yes.
Holy crap! Okay,
but my thing with that though is that like with the poolside bungalow,
God.
I think one of the things with the poolside thing that we're not really factoring in here is that with poolside, you know, you're getting in and out of the pool, so it's really nice to have an area to like dry off and chill out. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like with the absence of a pool, I feel like the benefits of it kind of become a little bit less.
I think that you're probably right as far as like there is slight more benefit to the bungalow, but I will say that I take back some of what I said about the pricing. This is a Disney problem more than a Paragon problem.
It is a Disney problem. Yes, you're right. You're right about that.
Yeah, that's
hey, Disney. How's Galactic Star Cruiser looking these days?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, again, I like the idea of I like the idea of it. It makes more sense, honestly, thinking about it as a bungalow rather than anything else.
Okay, so let's talk through these restaurants.
Yeah.
So the Zephyr, I really, really like. It's a great callback to California Adventure. I like all the different kind of randomization and locations and stuff. I really like the idea that if you go in the last hour, you get essentially a different show with the sunset and everything.
Yeah, I thought that it was just a super cool idea that you're like on this, you know, this old timey train, passenger train that you get a nice meal on and everything. I thought that was a super cool idea, and you're like traveling along through the countryside or whatever.
Make the Hogwarts Express into a fine dining thing, you cowards, Universal.
Honestly, they should.
I don't know. Maybe it's like an after hours thing. I don't know. I don't see how
cool.
you could realistically do that, like, and still operate it as a transportation thing.
Oh no, they'd have to have a separate one somehow.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, I liked. It was definitely a different take compared to Eisner's. I mean, this is obviously a very high scale meal.
But I really do like the fine dining. Although I will say that, you know what, one of the things is with me, I am such a picky eater that, like, when I look at this, when I look at these courses, literally every single one of these main courses has something in it that I don't like. So, for example, the roasted chicken, like, I'm not a big mustard fan. So it's like, I didn't even know that you could cook chicken in a mustard sauce. Have you ever had chicken in a mustard sauce?
I've had chicken in a honey mustard sauce, but never just like straight mustard.
And I also don't like Brussels sprouts. Like, I would trade
That's
the Brussels sprouts out with asparagus any day of the week.
Tiki, we're not taking your order. We're not taking your order here. You can tell your waiter that.
Look, and this is not a Paragon issue either. This is very much
Paragon didn't make this one. So.
You're right.
Actually, this is a Paragon issue. Why is there Brussels sprouts on the side of mustard chicken?
No, it's just me being a picky eater. Like, I find a hard time eating at these kinds of places, like the Brown Derby, for example, because it's like, like they make their food very well, but there's always like with the brown derby, when I get a Cobb salad, I'm allergic to eggs, so I just have to straight up ask for no egg.
I'm not gonna lie to you, Tiki. I don't even think about whenever I'm reading this. Do I think I like this or not? I look at it and I'm like, that's a reasonable list of main courses. I'm not like reading like.
Oh no! Okay, here's the thing with the prefix of it all. I was literally like going down here and like trying to figure out exactly what I would order.
Man, were you hungry when you were reading this project?
Yes.
You're thinking about Applebee's, weren't you?
Oh God. Well, honestly, now I'm really thinking that I'm hungry because I am hungry because that cake was not filling at all. But would you like to know what my meal would be?
I would love to know what your meal would be.
All right, I would start out with a crab pastry. I think the idea of like a herb cheese mixture and the puff pastry, that sounds really good. Wedge salad. You know, I randomly had a really good wedge salad at the fucking Swan, the garden grill that's at the Swan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I randomly had a really good wedge salad there once. It was actually, ironically enough, right before I went to Fantasia Gardens. For the main course, I think I would probably like see if I could trade out the Brussels sprouts with asparagus, but I'd be like, all right, let's see what the mustard tastes like with the roasted chicken for dessert, because I'm sure it's better than the chocolate cake I just ate. All right,
nice,
that's what I would order.
Let's see. I'll go through my order.
Oh God, okay.
I would get. I'm not apologizing for this. We did your order. I'm doing mine.
All right.
I'd go with the oysters Rockefeller. I'm a big oyster fan, so that sounds pretty good. I'd go with you on the
wedge.
The wedge, yeah.
I'm a big blue cheese guy.
Actually, you know what? The farm salad sounds pretty good too. That'd be more of a toss up, honestly. Maybe the farm salad. That sounds good right now. I'm doing this right now. I haven't had hours to spend. I haven't had hours to prepare like you did, Tiki. Let's see. Main course. The skirt steak sounds good with the gorgonzola sauce. That sounds good. And let's see, for dessert. You know what? It's the 50s. Let's go with a pineapple upside down cake.
There we go.
All right.
All right. Let's not spend any more time on this. Okay, the Hilltop Tavern. I think the best thing about this is I really like the fact that it's actually worked into the exterior rock work.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
I think that's
really
a super cool visual.
Yeah, I agree. I will say, personally, I absolutely loved the drawings of all of the snacks and the drinks. I thought that was super cool.
Oh, yeah, that is cool. Yeah. That kind of looks like how they draw the drinks on the Trader Sam menu.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I agree. I thought it was a pretty simple area, but I really did like it a lot. I thought that, I just love these drawings. That's what I kept coming back to.
I mean, I'm just trying to picture, like, imagine if there was, like, some sort of, like, like lounge in the middle of the mountain range in Cars Land or something like that. You know what I mean?
That would be crazy. That'd be really cool.
Right. But that's kind of the vibe I get with this. Like, I think the rock work in the exterior of this, by the way, is probably the coolest single thing about the whole project.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a really cool idea.
Like, I think visually it would be very striking. All right. Ooh, what would you order off of this menu?
Oh, okay. Well, let's see. What would I order? You know what? I think that a jumbo pretzel sounds really good.
I think I'm just gonna have to
fondue.
be simple. Wait, what's the pinwheel wraps? Ooh, that sounds good.
Look at the drawing.
Oh yeah, you're right. Let's see. What does it look like? Pinwheel. Oh no, I don't know.
It's got colors in it. No,
I'm just saying, like, that. I'm not really a big fan of those kind of wraps. I don't know what I thought it was. I was thinking more like the bacon wrapped asparagus from the Bengal barbecue. I love those kind of wraps.
Ooh.
I don't like any wraps unless they're bacon wraps. Damn it. Yeah, I would probably get the fries.
All right. What are you drinking?
Oh, God.
other than blue raspberry lemonade.
I mean, honestly, these Jesus, all the ice is melted at this point. It's a mess.
Oh, that's nasty.
Yeah. I think I'd probably get the cucumber delight just because that actually sounds like it's the most unique.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fair.
Anyways, the Goofy
I'd go with the strawberry margarita. Thanks for asking what I wanted.
I'm sorry.
I'm having a great time, Tiki. This is an awesome show. The Great Outdoors.
We're running a little long, so I kind of want to wrap it up soon-ish.
Yes. Goofy's Great Outdoors. My Great Outdoors. I really liked this idea a lot. I love the how-to series, and I thought that dividing the sections of the store up like that, super cool idea. Yeah, that's the main thing, honestly. Like, there's not a whole lot to say about it. Like, I like the merchandise. I like that they actually design merchandise. And the theming was a really cool, creative idea. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a nice callback to, like, the Disney Store era of theming.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it doesn't really have much of an impact on anything that's actually in the store, but it definitely makes you feel like you're in a story still.
Right. Okay. Well, with that in mind, let's go ahead and just get to the results.
All right. Would you like for me to?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know why I asked anymore. You always want me to do it. Okay. After a lot of careful consideration, Tiki and I have decided to give the win to New Eisner's Wed Works. It was I'm not gonna lie to you. We were literally usually we're deciding like 5 minutes before the podcast airs how the comments
no space. That's not Disney fan 32. Sony Pantoja is a regular commenter. So,
anyways, but yeah, usually like 5 minutes before the podcast, we're trying to figure out who we're eliminating. This time around, we were literally like right on the fence about who was going to win. We were kind of debating back and forth because, as you could tell from our comments, there were things we preferred over in New Eisner's project and things we preferred in New Chapek's project. And yeah, it was a very, very close race. And
I think ultimately what it came down to for me was what was going to be the bigger draw.
Yeah, I agree. That was what we kind of landed on, is that like if we were in downtown Disney for a day, which one would we rather go to? Because they were that close. And I will say that, personally, I'm very glad that there was no elimination tied to this one.
Oh my God, it would have been brutal.
Yeah, because I
don't even want to talk about it. Like, It's one of those things where it's like, we know, you and I know what would have happened, but we don't have to talk about it.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So that's that. The winner of the PO MVP was Tegan.
Yay!
So Tegan's just coasting safe. Like
she really is. Yeah.
That's very impressive. But yeah, so
okay.
Yeah.
Would you like to know the next project? I know you know what it is.
I would love for you to tell me so we can tell everybody else what the next project is.
Alrighty, here we go. Project 7, Nicktoon Town.
Woo!
All right, you've all done it. The 9 of you have made it through 6 grueling team-based prompts and gotten yourselves into the merge portion of the game. From this point forward, you'll all be working on one team, completing a single prompt. Eliminations will play out exactly the same, though it's worth noting that from this point forward, your activity in the merge will be weighed more heavily than your activity in the pre-merge. While we may still use the pre-merge as a tiebreaker of sorts if we're really stuck on an elimination, I want this to feel like as fresh of a start as possible for everyone. On that note, project leader positions have officially been refreshed and are up for grabs again. As always, once you have been project leader, you won't be able to take that position again Merge Project will be indulging in the second of 4 major crossover projects we've got planned this season. The first crossover was more in the genre department with the sci-fi Frontierland concept. This time around, we're going to go a lot more specific. For this round, the Merge team must use the entire footprint of Seuss Landing and the Lost Continent at Islands of Adventure. Let me just put that in there, just in case anyone's confused. To create a brand new mega land which plays host to an epic crossover of Nicktoon and Cartoon Network characters. The logic here is that Universal is continuing its dominance, and this will be the next major expansion after Epic Universe opens its doors. I imagine whatever's coming to Kids Zone won't be big enough to be major. This should be a huge draw for both kids and nostalgic adults alike. The big thing I'm looking for here is as much actual crossover as possible. I don't want to see Bikini Bottom, Townsville, the Loud House, etc. side lands. I want one big land with just the most nutty, wild, blue sky character crossovers you could possibly come up with. This project is due Friday, February 17th at 11:59 p.m. And let's go ahead and get that brainstorming thread started. Oh, yeah.
Yay. We don't actually wish any of you guys luck. Tiki skipped over that part, so no good luck wish to y'all. Y'all just do what you can. No, right. Honestly, we're not going to be judging realism at all. Like, really, this is just like this is Yogi Bear. Okay, Peregrine's got his redemption. All right, Peregrine has PO MVP for the next 3 rounds. I'm not saying that including Yogi Bear like gets you anything with me, but like y'all know Yogi has a very special place in my heart and in this game, so that's a great idea.
So the only logic I have as far as the realism goes here is it's very thin logic. So Universal, they have the SpongeBob store, so they have worked with Nickelodeon in the past, and they also have worked with Warner Brothers in the past because of Harry Potter. Warner Brothers owns Cartoon Network.
Bam, crossover.
That's literally my entire logic.
And with every passing year, Dr. Seuss's legacy becomes more and more troubled.
Yeah, so, look, I know for a fact that Monkey in particular is like, I mean, obviously he doesn't endorse like the troubling parts of the Dr. Seuss stuff, but I know for a fact he is a big time fan of Seuss Landing, just like nostalgically. So I know this is going to be kind of difficult for him to see his beloved Seuss Landing get bulldozed. But yeah, I mean, rock climbing wall on Squidward's house. God. Just the whole thing is just rock climbing walls. Just rock climbing walls themed to different characters.
I will say Peregrine's really leaning into the thing that he gets in trouble. I'm just saying, the last time I judged a competition, you were the winner. So just keep that money coming. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, yeah. Monkey also really enjoys Poseidon's Fury, which we are making him replace. Yes.
Yeah. Just replace with something better.
But I think this is genuinely probably the most exciting prompt of the whole season.
I think this is a very exciting blue sky.
I think there is almost unlimited potential with it.
Yes.
Like the footprint is huge. The amount of characters that you have to work with is massive. I legitimately think the challenge this project isn't what can we do, but like, you know, kind of scaling down what you can do. Like,
which is why we're being very specific. Stay within the footprint.
Mm-hmm. So yeah. Also, Walt's Vault, Monkey. I totally forgot to. Well, I didn't forget. I just figured, Goofy, and I didn't even bring this up with you, but I just figured with all the other drama going on, and with this being the merge and everything, we should probably just take a week off from Walt's Vault. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, honestly, whenever I was reading the diary room responses about the Walt's Fault. I was like, I don't think we ever talked about Walt's Fault, but yeah, that makes sense. We're gonna give y'all a week off. Y'all had a lot of trauma to deal with Walt's Fault this past week.
Okay. Let's see. I think that's about it, right?
I can't think of anything else we haven't covered.
Cool. All right. Well, yeah. So thank you guys so much. This has been a very unhinged podcast.
It's been an awesome podcast.
Would you like to see the latest update on the lemonade?
I would love to see this.
This is
lemonade.
Oh my god. This is fucking. This
oh my gosh.
This literally looks like toilet cleaner, dude.
It literally is. I think I've got a bottle of that in my sink actually. Here, I'll put some toilet cleaner in my glass and we can drink it together. don't just chug it. Like you don't have to drink it. It was $5. Tiki, it wasn't even your money.
Oh god. Oh.
Stay tuned. Tiki might actually kill himself with Applebee's on this.
Oh god, that was so nasty.
Jeez.
Oh.
Why are you doing this to yourself, Tiki? That's the kind of podcast has been, folks. I think it's safe to say More Poo Talk is officially back.
Yes, Monkey, this has been lemonade this whole time. This is blue raspberry lemonade, apparently. That looks like the stuff you get from the bar when you do not want to be alive the next day.
Jeez. Yeah, honestly.
And like I said, it's not just that glass. I still have this much left in the damn cup. I still have like half of the cup left.
This was not a good decision for you.
No.
Oh my gosh.
All right. We have to cut this off somewhere. See y'all later. Can't wait to see the Nicktoon stuff.
Good luck. Bye.